said straight up, I'm not down for no threesome or foursome in this case. Hey guys, it's your girl Alicia, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are back with another reaction to Motherland Fort Salem. We're now on to episode 6 of season 2, which is called My Three Dads. This is obviously the reference to the way that they do what they call the hand fasting in this world to keep the bloodlines pure and obviously to keep the powers and everything else, I guess, as strong as possible. I'm interested to find out. I'm thinking this has to do a little bit more about this whole ritual. They wouldn't have gone through all of the work of having that episode talking about the lineage and the hand fasting unless it was supposed to mean something. So I'm interested to find out what that is all about. So we're going to jump into the episode, but before we do, you know the drill. If you have been here before and you like what you see, please consider hitting that subscribe button. That way you'll be notified when I do more reactions to this show, as well as a lot of others in this vein. So if you're interested in supporting me on my journey to 10K, I would be very, very grateful. Okay, that out of the way, guys, let's get into the episode right about now.
With this act, our war will end.
Oh, this is the guy that left the spree, right? If I recognize that curly head.
A new day will rise for all witches.
We are the spree. We are the spree.
You are the extremists within the extremist group. No, Jonas don't look okay. Who is this chick, though?
Don't talk about the witch bomb. Or deployment. Or the spree. And yeah, definitely not Salem. That's a lot not to talk about.
Right? So I should just sit there silently is what you're saying.
It's not unlike our tradition.
Yeah, but will that be a problem?
As long as I can get a little bit of sharp blood, everything should be fine.
What the hell are we doing? Yeah, I thought this was a cute little romance. We're going into some cult shit.
Then Alden made Liberia worse. And that fight eventually killed my mom, so there's not much worse she can do to me, is there?
Ah. I mean, there's always worse. You still have people you care about, Rael. Who's stalking? Is this because Tally opened her big mouth?
Daughter. Sweetheart.
So weird.
Hello, offspring. What do you think?
I'm so confused.
Is there a way?
Your people are quite the topic of conversation in our circle. And you brought him because...
Because he has no home to go to for the break. Is that an issue?
Of course not. We'll make room.
Does my mother know about this?
It was her idea, of course.
Of course.
Shell bark!
God, why did you yell?
Again.
I'm just 3. Average for a high Atlantic kid. Why?
I didn't understand the scope of Abigail's family.
He's like, and I'm also understanding the maths here. I thought only 1 sperm was required.
Stepped out of her room, still covered in blood from the birth, holding our baby girl. Yeah.
Queen.
Tell us part again. Gosh. What she said next?
I don't remember.
Yes, you do. She's a little mad at her not dead, but she thinks she's dead mama right now. Where are we? Is that Brianna's house? Oh, they killed them right in their damn houses. No, the Camarilla needs to be stopped. So the mother was the witch and didn't tell anyone, or didn't know.
Fostering program did pretty right by me.
Where are you now? Out here with me, a terrorist.
No one asked you to tell the truth.
Let's go for some hot chocolate.
I don't completely disagree with that particular move. The army especially considering the fact that she's probably just going to be like an experiment for Alder to find out more about the Camarilla, which she'll know nothing about, so. Oh, what you see?
Do you recognize that car? It was outside the diner too.
Okay, yes, Tally.
You're military? Wait, where's the other 2?
Behind you, newbie.
Wait, I'm gonna invite you in for coffee and cookies.
No, Tally, own it. Own it. Just own it.
Do you have a minute to talk?
No, leave me alone, father and father and father.
The future of the line.
Stop sermonizing, Anton. Please keep an open mind at dinner.
No, no, mine's closed. Adele or bust. I mean, look at him. He's fine. And he's got good lineage, too. It's about as pure-blooded as it gets.
General, I'm of more use to you in the field. Where the Camarilla seen your face? No.
That part's true.
Intelligence has us from here. Things are already in.
She's like so happy to be able to pull rank again. Why would you? I keep forgetting in the first season that Scylla like takes people's illnesses. There should be a way, like if you're a healer like that, to like transfer though, right? Like maybe like put it in, but I mean, I guess it's not exactly nice to make somebody else blind.
On the hallowed ground of Fort Salem, the requested dead cannot refuse to appear. I guess it's more of a suggestion than a rule because she didn't show.
Listen to what she just said, Rael.
Until your second spell shorts.
And what would you contribute?
This is so awkward. Suiting this people when your boyfriend's literally across the table.
With Abigail's mother?
We each contributed the best of us to make Abigail.
What?
At the same time?
Why are you asking this? I would never want to know this about my partner's parents. He's so grossed out. Adil says straight up, I'm not down for no threesome or foursome in this case. Where I'm one of 3 dudes. Oh, Grandma Patriarch coming in the room. Oh, look at her hair. Yes, queen. You all better stand up. She's gonna like Adil. I can sense it. That's right. You better make way for these braids.
It smelled funny. Like dog food.
I was about to say, can you use some magic? It's probably better than this poor kid's traumatized mind right now. Cages? Oh, you mofos need to all burn. Burn. Burn.
Everything changed. The first confirmed spree attack was in '97. So you think Nicta gave her working with the spree? I think Nicta created the spree.
Ooh! I stand Nigda. Is that her? Is that who's in the cabin? That makes sense because Alder pissed her off and used her. Oh, yep, that makes sense. Yep, go Nigda. Wait, what are we doing with this guy? Homie's like, I'm contributing to the work. They're like, no, girl, you are the work.
No wonder she was redacted. Alder can just blot out all her mistakes. I'm surprised she isn't.
That's the power of power.
I don't want to just survive.
Right?
I can change things.
Exactly. We need to change. Otherwise, you're just going to be just surviving the rest of your lives. That's not a life. While Alder thrives on wine and biddies.
Is it the same with your people in the Turin?
No.
Not exactly.
We just bone who we like.
We tend to go on very long walks.
Adil's like, y'all, I've already been there and back with Abigail, and she came back for more, so I don't know what y'all are talking about.
I have my duty in this war, and you have yours.
We have other things to discuss.
That's right.
You can deal with this later.
Nana's like, Abby's my favorite, and I'm taking her side.
And what about you? You promised me a bellwether at the top. That you would answer to no one.
You shouldn't have pissed Mama off.
All I did for this family. My choices. My sacrifices.
They're both like, what is she talking about?
That fire in your eye. Follow it to the ends of the earth, Abigail. Don't let us stop you.
Yes! Yes, Grandma! She's like, ha ha, Mom, see, she likes me better because she likes me better. I'm right, you're not. It's so gratifying that first time when someone disagrees with your mama can't say anything back. That's creepy! These long walks you were talking about with the wooing, you never mentioned raising the dead because that's just not hot. I'm sorry, you fine, but this is not. Date over. Okay, just gently put it back. Just, oh God, Charvel, I'm so sorry.
Time to hunt.
Okay, Miss Abigail, I like the fierceness. She's emboldened by Grandma and she's ready to...
She said she loved me more than sky above and earth below.
Mm-hmm.
That she'd always be close.
Sounds like her.
She is, like, down the block.
And when I finally asked her about it, she denied it, and...
Ooh.
Dad, I got so angry.
It's like, Mom, you're a tramp.
If she kept secrets from me, then she didn't really love me.
That's very juvenile, and I'm sure she knew that.
That the moment she died, my words were ringing in her ears.
Honey, she had a teenager for years at that point. You said lots of hurtful stuff. I'm sure she got past. That's part of growing up, and thank goodness love is deeper than that.
If you can't feel her by your side, it just means she hasn't gotten there yet. You give her time.
Best dad ever. We like him. So much easier than having 3 that are all like weird, like Stepford dads.
Observe.
Put the lid back on. What are you doing?
The contagion has prey to feed on. It can self-replicate. It has no limit.
No, 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 no.
This is your top priority, isn't it?
Yeah, I think she got that, Alter. Ooh, I like it. It knows the right target. But we've already seen that Raelle separated it from the witches. She was able to do that. Maybe that was the mycelium. Was she touched by the mycelium at that point? Your girl doesn't remember now. Okay, what are you making, ma'am? I don't understand. Are we making jewelry? Are we all gonna have matching bracelets? Oh my God, where are you gonna pour that?
Thank you.
What in God's name? Sorry. Oh, I feel bad for the biddies though. It's okay. Just let it burn for a minute. Just for a minute. Nigga, you a dog?
Your biddies sharing the hit, you would have been dead 3 times over.
I'm kidding, but not really. The fact that that man literally sacrificed his life to give Anacostia effectively a sore throat. Did Nigna not realize she was not going to die with biddies? But I guess she wants her to suffer.
God is protected.
Oh, no. Who is the spy? Somebody in... All right, still, I'm gonna need that bubble. Oh no, this is going sideways in a handbasket. Oh no. Where's her dad? Dude! This is frustrating, but she's the star of the show. We all know she's gonna be okay. Woo! Wow, that was not an ending I expected, but I had a feeling. Didn't I say, like, what was it, back in the episode where Raelle showed what she could do with the mycelium and the vice president was there? I think it's him. I think he is the spy for the Camarilla. I think he's a high-ranking Camarilla, and I think once he saw that, he was like, we need to get her, and we need to get her, like, either out of the equipment. I mean, they could have just killed her there if they wanted to, so that was not their case. I think they want to get... I don't think they understand what the mycelium has done to her yet, but they want to understand, so because they obviously are scared, right? Because Raelle could probably take down all the work that they've done, but dang. In a way, though, I'm kind of like, now that I'm thinking about it, why would Alder let her secret weapon go home? Like, I know she had a security detail, but now that I'm thinking about it, Alder should have not let Raelle leave the base without, like, a full military detail. Like, full. I'm not 3 guards, like the whole battalion. Like, you said that this is your secret weapon against the Camarilla, and you let her go home with her friend when she's a, what, 2nd-year trainee to a place that has a handful of witches that don't even... Okay, guys. Sorry, that was the latest episode of Motherland, Fort Salem. I just kind of started rattling off here, but I'm just like, my brain just kind of starts going when these things start. And all right, let's kind of go through it. We'll talk. Let's actually start with Raelle, since I already started rambling about her. There wasn't as much about her. I think this was a little bit more of Abby's episode with a sprinkling of understanding the origins of the spree. So with the Raelle situation, I don't know why she thought she could keep anything from her dad. I mean, this man has known her whole life. Of course he would know that something was up. I don't know why she didn't feel like she could just tell him that this situation happened where she tried to communicate with her mom and it didn't happen. But again, I think it's just this whole idea, like since season 1, we've seen that Raelle really likes to take things on herself and not really rely on other people. And she's getting better at it. But yeah, it's sad that she's kind of carrying around this guilt, this sadness, and now we know a little bit more about why she's so upset about. I mean, obviously it's upsetting if you think you've, you know, summoned someone from the dead to come talk to you and they were like, psh, nah. Now we know that her and her mother unfortunately had an argument, and the last things that she said to her mom were not the kindest words. And that is such a life lesson in there. Like, just as a little sidetrack there, like, folks, if there are people in your lives, your parents, your kids, your siblings, your loved ones, whatever, even if they annoy the absolute ever-loving out of you, it's so important to be careful about what you say and to try to end every conversation with them on a loving note. Like for me, I always tell the people that I love them after I talk to them. Every single time, without fail, I say that I love you. And again, even if I'm annoyed with them, and the reason is because, unfortunately, I've met way too many people who are in Raelle's situation, although we know her mom's not actually dead, but you know what I mean, where they've lost a loved one, and the last thing that they said to them was something that they really regret or that they really wish were not their last words. Do you know what I'm saying? Life is so unpredictable. You never know what's going to go down. And one of the biggest things that can haunt you for the rest of your life is knowing that you didn't get a chance to express love to a person that you loved, right? So it's just kind of a life lesson there. But I mean, obviously Raelle was a teenager, and teenagers, you know, we're all impetuous when we're at that age. And it happens, right? Like, obviously, like what she said to her mom was childish, and her mom, I think, was old enough to know that. Again, raising a teenager at that point, teenagers will say a lot of really thoughtless stuff during that time, and parents deal with a lot, but overall, they usually are of the understanding that, hey, that's what kids do. They do things like that, but then they eventually grow up and they do better. So I can understand why Raelle was feeling some type of way and thinking that maybe her mom was carrying this grudge beyond the grave. And it's like, no, honey. If your mother was actually wandering around as a spirit, if that's what we're doing here, I really highly doubt she was walking around still angry at you over something you said years ago in a situation that was valid, because her mom was clearly lying to her. And now, based on what Raelle said, it sounds like her mother was starting to meet with the spree. Like, we're getting the seeds that hopefully Raelle's going to put together at some point to figure out that her mom is still alive and that her mom was working with the spree from some time back. But nice to get a little bit more insight into her and her mother's relationship, and also why her mom is kind of feeling like staying away from Raelle and not bringing her into the fold and the spree situation was the right call. And of course, you know, Raelle kind of hearing some more stuff from her mom's friend there. Again, we're getting more things for her to put the pieces together. How her mom's friend was like, I wasn't with her when she died. Yeah, because she didn't. And she would have made sure that she was away from everyone so that she could slip away and let people think the worst. Yeah, there's not much else to say about that, really. Tally was kind of like supplementary in this episode, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I think, you know, her finding out more about the work, Nigna's work, and how it was being used, and the way that it's surfaced is obviously helping her put things together. Again, that's how we discovered who started the spree. That makes so much sense, because Nigna has more reason, I think, than a lot of people to hate Alder passionately and to want to take down. Well, I mean, it's really to take down Alder, but it's like, I feel like it's spread into the military, because the military, I don't know. I guess we need to know more about Nigna. Let me take that back. We need to know more about Nigna. I'm hoping that in the next episode, we'll actually see more from Nigna's perspective. I mean, we're getting a very surface idea of why she did this, and it makes sense, right? This person you trusted used your work to hurt innocent people, other witches at that, and basically told you to get over it. The guilt that Nigna's probably carried in knowing that these witches died because of her work that was misused and kind of blamed back on her, like, that's something that could definitely twist into some real hatred, especially since Alder walked away looking like, you know, smelling like roses and looking like an angel to the public. So I can see that, but I feel like it needs to be a little bit, it's got to be deeper and darker than that, because maybe she perceived that the military was the reason for it, because this is personal. Do you know what I mean? Like what she did with that dude to hurt Alder, she had to know it wasn't going to kill her. So she wants Alder to suffer. She wants her to feel pain. She really wants this to be a slow, like death by a thousand cuts sort of situation. And you don't usually go that hard for someone that if you just want revenge, like that's deeply personal. And so I'm starting to wonder if like about the nature of the relationship that Alder and Nigda had. I feel like it goes a little deeper than what we've seen thus far. I mean, we know that Alder takes on, you know, warlock lovers from time to time, but being as old as she is, maybe she's had more. Maybe she's ventured into other witches at times as well. And maybe Nigda was one of them. Maybe that's one of the reasons, maybe that's how she got the lowdown on how Nigda's work worked. One thing that hit me was in that flashback that Tally first had when Nigda called her a monster and walked away, the way that Alder called out to her, it wasn't like a, like, why are you being like this? It was literally like she was the way you would call after like someone that you loved when you knew you hurt them. Like, I feel like her and Nigda had maybe more of a personal connection, and that's why Nigda felt so deeply betrayed. And that's why she wants Alder to suffer, right? She really wants this to be slow and painful, and she wants Alder to know it was her. You know what I'm saying? It's very much like, what's her name? The Queen of Thorns from Game of Thrones. Like, tell her it was me. I'm interested. I'm hoping that we get a little more insight into that, because that'd be great too, to find out more about why the spree came about and kind of where Nigda's thinking is, and if it's still following what Nigda wanted, or if it's kind of spun and evolved into something that's so much bigger now, of some witches who just want to see Alder pay, some want the army gone, some who just want to take out their wrath on humans. And also, because we've got 3 major players, as I said back in the end of season 1. You know, we got the Camarilla, we've got Spree, we've got the military. We've been seeing the most about the military and somewhat of Alder, but we really haven't heard much about the Spree or the more in depth about the Camarilla. So it'll be interesting. I want to see more about that. So yeah, outside of that, of course, we had Abigail and her courting affair. I actually like the juxtaposition of her sitting there trying to like figure out who she wants to be her baby daddies, on the other side of her also going back home because she was looking to dig up, you know, Charbel's body for whatever her and Adil are planning, which I still have no idea what that is yet, but it feels like it's going to be pretty crazy, and I'm actually looking forward to it. But back to the festival of dads, potential dads, and meeting Abigail's fathers, and they all look like fine men, but boring. Let's be real. They look very, very boring. Compared to her mama, I'm like, wow, like there is no way that your mama wanted any of these men. I still don't understand the mechanics, and I probably am overthinking it. I think I am. But I suppose we just gotta believe in magic here, right? Because there's just actually no biological way that I know of for 3 sperms to make 1 egg. Like, they said they all contributed and it's a very intricate process, but I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure only one of y'all is actually her biological father. The other 2 just put in work. It was interesting to see them, and obviously they're going to push for Abigail to do this because, you know, men in this world have a very secondary role overall. Like, it's very interesting to see the parallels to how patriarchal the world really is, and how that was the way it was back in the day, where women were only seen for how well they would be able to produce heirs for people. And now we've got the reverse here, where the men have to worry about, worry about that for the women. Just the way, I mean, this is why I love Adil, like the quiet confidence, right? He was unfazed, and I love that. Like, he didn't try to fit in with these people. He didn't try to impress anyone, because he's so confident in himself and so like aware of who he is and proud of that, that he's not rattled. And I love that. Like, I'm like, if that does not like ring all of Abigail's bells even more about this guy, like, it's great. And it's so sad that like her mom just can't see past all of the regulations to see how good that is. Like, I'm loving that the matriarch, the grandmother, what was her name? Matilda, I think. I love that I could see, I'm like, she's going to like Adil. She's going to see through and really appreciate the fact that, like I said, when the dads were drilling him, he was just like, okay, I'm just trying to understand how this works. Y'all tell me how this goes down. Okay, sure, right, whatever. When the other boys were trying to make, you know, what do they call them? The high Atlantic boys were trying to look down on him. And he was just like, yeah, where I come from, we go for long walks and we hang out. Like, what do you want me to say? Like, I'm not, you know, he's like, I'm not in competition with y'all, right? He's like, Abby brought me, in case you didn't notice. Y'all showed up for this party her mama invited you to. She brought me. I'm just very interested to see what her and Adil are planning with Charvel's blood. I'm wondering if they're going to try to track her vocal cords. That's the only thing I can think of, is that Adil might know some way of finding, since it's her blood and that her blood would still be in the vocal cords, that they think they'll be able to find the spree that way, or Camarilla. But I am worried because I don't want, like, Abby is still very much in impetuous mode at the moment and she's not ready. The Camarilla have got the weapons against magic. They've also got the vocal cord stuff. They've got the disease. Like, they are well armed and they are very ready for witches right now. So her and Adil are not going to be enough. And that's why I was kind of worried as well when we saw at the end of the episode with Scylla and Rael's mom going to that compound alone. I'm like, y'all, I just need these witches to be smarter. And I also said in the episode, and I will repeat, them and the spree need to get together. Like, we can't be working on different pages here. Yeah, this was a fun episode, guys. Things are going quite well and I'm enjoying it still. Hopefully you guys are enjoying watching along with me. If you are, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and we will see you in the next video.